go.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the wrist and thumb orthosis that you're going to be fabricating in lab on Wednesday. So this is a pattern of it. It's already cut out like this, and I'm just going to do a quick check on her arm. We're not going to need to cut much off the bottom based on the size, and then I am actually not rolling the top on this one either. But because this wraps around the wrist and thumb, I want to check the thumb position. So what I'm going to do is, I know I want the IP joint of the thumb free. So I am going to probably be taking off down to where I can see that IP joint so she can bend and straighten the tip of her thumb. Right now, if we do this, go ahead and try to bend your thumb. Yeah, we can, but the material is going to get in the way. So we're going to cut that part off. And then this is a little wide, so I'll probably be trimming off that and then being extra cautious of the superficial branch of the radial nerve. So what I'm going to do is get my pattern ready and then start the material in the water. All right, so we've got our material ready out of the water. Gonna fix it up. So I'm just gonna take my pattern, take a quick look, and know that I need to trim off a little bit over here so it'll keep her tip of her thumb free. So I'm gonna trim that off. Perfect. And since I'm not rolling the top, I'm just going to take a tiny little bit off this so it's nice smooth edge and we don't have that sharp jagged edge from the material. All right, we still want to keep in mind those creases so she can move her fingers. And I am going to check this real quick, bringing that thumb up. This is going to come in through here. So we're going to bring our wrist up here and so we want to position the thumb in close to palmar abduction. This is going to cross and it's going to overlap. It's hard to see, but we're overlapping just a tiny bit there. And then I'm gently molding into place. Go ahead and bend the tip of your thumb for me. Perfect. Straighten all the way up, nice and strong. Great. And then I'm conforming this just a little bit around that side. I know I'm going to want to trim that down here in a second, but I'm going to let it cool before I do that. Go ahead and make a fist for me. Great. Go ahead and straighten. So we're just gently holding her wrist and thumb into place. Wrist in slight extension, thumb in slight in between radial and palmar abduction. And just molding along there, letting it cool. I'll trim that side so I know I'm going to do that. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a reminder. Same on this side. Just a little reminder what I'm doing. So now what I'm going to do is dip the side so I can trim where my nail mark was. I'm going to do this for both sides, and then I'm going to flare the bottom, and then we'll strap it together. Got it dipped, ready to go. I see my nail mark. Very small, just down the side. Keeping those long, smooth strokes, sort of. And I'll fix that, and then I'm going to do this side as well. Fixing. Check it. So we fixed it, still a tiny bit high, so what I'm going to do is actually drop it back in so I can fix it really well. So we'll let it flatten and then we're good. Okay, so sometimes when you don't like what it looks like, you're just going to put it back in, and that's okay. I wanted to fix what I was trimming, so I'm glad I put it back in. So I'm going to take this and do this side just a tad bit more, all the way down. trying to be careful. Smooth that out. Catch this other side just a tiny bit more. That's nice and smooth. Sometimes it just takes a tiny bit to fix it. Perfect. Now I'm going to put it back on. Make sure we're in the right position. There we go. So I'm using my finger and my thumb to kind of protect and position her thumb and her wrist. And I'm very gently smoothing along, not putting a lot of pressure. And then I'm going to roll the curve the back end just a tad. And we're going to let it cool. Okay, so now we're ready to put Velcro on. We still need 5 pieces of Velcro, just like we did for the wrist immobilization. You're gonna have one across the middle here, that little bit of a longer one, so it holds that wrist nice and good position. So we're gonna put that one right there. It comes right around the wrist crease, just below the wrist crease. And then we've got 2 at the proximal edge. 2 at our proximal edge. And then we've got 2 up by the distal end. And put one here. And then we put one right in between the first web space. Right there. Our thumb is held nice and secure. So now what we're gonna do is put our wrist strap on, same as the wrist immob. We're gonna curve that out just a little bit. Give that half moon, secure. Come around. I know I'm gonna cut right around there. Trim that one off. I'm gonna go on the back end, do this one, right around, and I'll trim that one off. Now the strap up here, because we're going through the first web space, we're not only making a single half moon, we're making a double. So we wanna make it so it sits nice and smooth in that first web space. So we take that half moon right there, come out, and then we go to the other side, take it in, come back out. And if you notice now, we've got that piece to go right there, and then that sits nice and smooth through that first web space. And we're cutting those off here in a second. That one's there. That one there. And as you can see, we are nice and secure. Wrist and thumb are immobilized. Go ahead and bend the tips of your fingers. Good, can you make a fist? So her crease is even better. Bend the tip of your thumb and straighten it. Perfect. So what you're gonna watch for here is just making sure there's no sharp, rough edges at the thumb that can irritate that. Sharp edges here, sharp edges on this side, and then go palm down, and you see how nice and secure she's in there. She's not going anywhere.